Welcome back to Dummy Boy Finance. I'm Dummy Boy and we're going to get straight into our explosive penny stock watch list. So we're going to start off the day here with TSNPD on the 30-minute time frame. Down almost 5% today. Nothing really crazy going on. Still trading in our flag. What I do like to see is though our 50 SMA is starting to make its way up. And so we do want to see a back test of this 50 SMA. And so if we just kind of keep carrying this momentum to the upside, we will get a retest of this 50 SMA within this pattern, which will be extremely bullish, which means that we won't need to break down from our pattern. And so I like the way TSNP is trading. And so anytime you have a stock like Humble that has the type of growth projections as well as potential for the future, you don't want to see it just explode up. This is very healthy consolidation. We are setting a very nice foundation at this $2.80 level. And I do believe that is going to be a nice base for that next move up that we will get somewhere around here at the end of March, beginning of April. Next stock of the day, we're looking at SNDL on the 30-minute time frame. So we were down about 6% today, but we did close above our level of support. So we still have a short-term bullish outlook here on SNDL. One thing that I just want to show you guys is the weekly chart here on SNDL. And so since its IPO, it has had a terrible run. And so you could see right here that we are very low here in terms of the price action we have seen in the past. And so I know there are a lot of analysts that have price targets of like 10, 15, 20 cents on this one. But remember, sometimes sentiment is more important than actual valuation. We've seen that this entire bull run in 2020. And so the sentiment in the cannabis industry is very promising. And so because the stock has so many eyes on it, just from the sentiment, we should see some upside movement very shortly. On the weekly, I just want to show you guys also the buying and selling. You can see extraordinary buying at these levels, not too much selling here. And now here we are on the weekly starting to get that volume back up. So at these levels, I don't think you can go wrong here on SNDL. And so do I think SNDL is a good investment? Not really. Do I think it's a good trade? Absolutely. And that's just kind of where we are here with SNDL. Our risk reward looks very intriguing right now off the charts on SNDL. Next stock of the day here is IGEN on the 30-minute time frame. So I did end up buying more IGEN today. And so we had a very solid close on IGEN that was well needed for this stock because we had continuous bleeding to the downside. And so today we had great price action along our 50 SMA. We had this little scare right here when we went down, but we did claw our way back up. And so on our handle right here, this pattern was descending for a very long time, but we closed the day here by back testing this line and then moving up. And so I would love to see IGEN build on this momentum, and our first level of resistance is going to be right here at around 1.3. And so if we can get past this point, I do think we're going to start to see some bullish momentum. Our MACD on the 30-minute time frame had a very nice crossover that looks extremely bullish to me. And so if I pull this out here even further to the daily time frame, if we can start to see a little scoop right here, that would be very bullish because our MACD is still positive. And so overall, IGEN, one of my favorite long-term holds, probably one of my bigger positions in terms of penny stocks. And so I did end up buying more today. Solid closeout today, up 5.13%. Next stock of the day here, we're looking at High Tide on the 30-minute time frame. And so I ended up buying more High Tide as well today here at around 68 cents. So right now we are sitting right below our level of support. So we have support here at around 69 cents. So we would love to see High Tide maintain this level of support, because if we continue to build on this level, we are going to see a very nice base for the long term. So there's a lot of good news coming out from High Tide. I love everything that this company is doing. And so I did more research today on High Tide, and I love the locations of their dispensaries. They have very promising locations. They have business in the United States, and they're also growing internationally. And so as a profitable company that has solid cash on hand, solid business model, and solid infrastructure in general, they've made the right acquisitions. And in terms of investment, is this a solid investment? I believe so. So if you're looking at SNDL and you're looking at High Tide, I would really contemplate buying into High Tide. Another reason why I prefer High Tide is just because I know with the stimulus package, the US dollar is going to get hit in the short term. And so I would love to transfer my US dollars into some Canadian dollars just in case we start seeing a revamped Canadian dollar. $1. And so in terms of the two positions, I really like high tide for the long term, and so I bought some more today. One thing I would love to see for high tide is an interaction with this 50 SMA, so don't be surprised if you kind of just drop out of nowhere, get a back test of this 50 SMA. But if we keep consolidating in this range, our 50 SMA will just naturally make its way up, and maybe we won't have that drop down. But overall, I love this stock for the long term, and so I bought more today. Today we were down 1.45%. Next stock of the day, we're looking at HCMC on the 30-minute time frame. So we were flat on the day today, and we did close right on our level of support. And so we have our 50 that's just been moving up. We've had interactions along our 50, and we have maintained a bullish outlook. And so I am bullish in the short term on HCMC. I do believe we have a better risk to reward ratio here, and it looks quite promising on a trade. And so I think if you can buy on support, you should be able to make some money here on the rip up to the upside. And so if we get more price action along this level, that is just going to create a stronger base here for HCMC. And so this could be an accumulation zone overall for HCMC. Next stock of the day, we're looking at WDLF. So Social Life Network got crushed today, down almost 9%. I did add this other pattern that I just want to monitor. I do think we are trading in somewhat of a flag right here. You could see we are not only above our uptrend, we are above all our SMAs. And so I just want to see if the price action just kind of flutters here for the next little bit. If we continue to kind of trade sideways for the next week or two, I do believe this is going to be a strong signal that we are in a bull flag. It does present a very nice buying opportunity right here if we get that confirmation, but this is just an anticipation of that move. I am not saying we are in that pattern, but if we continue to trade this way, it will give me more conviction, and so that would be a very great opportunity to be hopping into Social Life Network. So tough day today overall, down almost 9%. Next stock of the day, we're looking at MJNA on the 30-minute time frame. So we were flat today on MJNA. We closed right below our level of resistance, and so we would love to see the price action get back above this point. We did hold our 50 SMA very nicely. That was extremely bullish, and so our next step here is to get above this level of resistance. This could be a very nice accumulation zone for the short term. Remember, the cannabis sector is only going to grow from this point on, and the catalysts are only going to get closer as time goes on. So I do see these as very good opportunities to be getting into some cannabis plays, specifically here on MJNA. Next stock of the day, looking at ACDC on the 30-minute time frame. So we're down 1%, but we have just been trading sideways for the last little bit. We closed right on our level of support, and so we would love to just continue to trade above this point. But I do like the fact that our 50 SMA is starting to make its way up. So if we kind of just consolidate in this range, this 50 SMA will continue to just make its way up. And if we can get a back test around the levels we are at right now, that would look very bullish for ACDC. But the longer we trade sideways, the stronger the base that we are forming for another move, either up or down. But for ACDC, I do believe there's more room to the upside in the future than there is downside. Next stock of the day, we're looking at ASTI on the 30-minute time frame, up 10% today, but we actually had a pretty rough day. We got rejected by our level of resistance, and we did trade below. So we are still in no man's land here on ASTI, still waiting on the sidelines with this one until we get definitive price action above this point. We're going to maintain neutral here, and so we want to get a better distinction. Right now we're just kind of in the middle, and so ASTI, solid day, but still in no man's land. Next stock of the day, looking at HYSR on the 30-minute time frame. Again, we were flat today, still in no man's land as well, between our 50 and our 100-day SMA, smack in the middle, and so we don't really have a good distinction of where we want to go. Our 30-minute MACD could potentially be curling up right here, and so I just want to look at the MACD on the daily time frame, and wow, our MACD on the daily is looking actually very bullish. If we get a crossover right here, this becomes a very nice buying opportunity in HYSR, so we're going to monitor that very closely. But this looks extremely bullish, and so if we can just get back above and cross this signal line, that looks like a very nice trade in the short term. So I'll be watching this very closely here on Sun Hydrogen. Next stock of the day, we're looking at FERN Corp on the daily. And so a funny story with the stock, I actually planned to buy a different FERN. And so I'm on TD and I typed in FERN and they gave me this ticker. So I thought I was buying the other FERN, but I actually bought this one. I had no idea what this one did. And so then when I actually bought it, I looked at the technicals for this and they looked absolutely nuts. but now they look even crazier. So you guys have seen us back test our 50 SMA a whole bunch of times, have solid price action to the upside. Then we tested our 100-day SMA, has solid price action to the upside. But let's look at our volume right here. Look at this buying volume here on FERN. We've had extraordinary green buying volume. Even when we sold, we had very minimal selling. Our MACD just crossed over, and look how bullish that is. And so FERN is a sleeper. Don't sleep on it. I accidentally tripped up on FERN, and it seems to be a diamond in the rough. And so if you guys are trading this one, I feel like a lot of you have probably made a ton of money on FERN. And so that is our quick little update on all of our explosive penny stock watch list. Quick little recap. I bought into more high tide, bought into more IGEN. FERN is looking absolutely bullish right now in the short term. HYSR could be a very nice swing play in the short term as well. And so overall, these are all my favorite penny stocks, and I do believe all of them can make you money. You just got to know when to get in and when to get out. And so if you enjoyed this update, don't forget to like. We are on that road to 10K subs. So if you made it to this point, feel free to hit that subscription button. This is Dummy Boy Finance. I'm Dummy Boy, and I will see you guys in the next one.